Hey there, ever wanted to make your own video game music? Today we're breaking down how to write a track for a village scene in a JRPG style game. So get comfortable, relax, drop me a like as it really helps support the channel, and let's get into it. As you can see, for this piece I have started with a drum beat, and this is just a 4 to the floor beat that sounds like this. So this is a pretty simple drum beat up until this point where I've added this second snare drum and we've added this other hi-hat sound and this open hi-hat just to fill it out. You can either program that in or play it in depending on what you're more comfortable doing. Right, let's think what happens next. So I've just loaded up this stage piano sound and that is from Lethal. Let's have a listen to what I just did. That is just C, A, and then B, G, backwards and forwards, and this little fill at the end, just down the scale. Let's join them all together so you can see what's happening with the bass line. It is just F going up to G, F, and then the rundown that follows the same pattern as the piano. So I've got this rising bell here. C, A, D, B, E, C, and then back to D and B. Finally, to fill out this section, we've got another patch from Lethal called Dance Hit, and it sounds like this. Nice sound, and then we've got this. Orchestral string again from Lethal. So we've got the same drums and now we have this bass line here which is just doing this. Just F and G with a groovy little pattern there, and then I added this piano on top of it. So as you can see here, we have got this first chord which is an A minor, but over the bass it's actually an F chord. F major 7 it would be. And then here we have got just a G chord and then that F major 7, and we've got 2 chords at the end of this pattern. Just C major and C sus2, and then this last time here we have a slight variation where we've got the C7 there, so we've added the 7th of the chord. Right, time for a lead sound. As you can see, I'm basically using Lethal now for all this track. And it goes like this. Not too complicated, long notes followed by a few shorter notes, and the main thing to note here is if we press A and we bring up the pitch bend, you can see at the beginning I did this, but I guess it's an octave down going up to the note, which sounds, yeah, that's the only thing I've done pitch bend wise there. Just gives it a bit more movement. So the second time round we have got a new lead here which goes like this. Just slightly more complicated than the first lead. I just played that on top of it, so just jam over it. So put it on loop, jam over it. I edit these bits out of the video because they're not very interesting. That's just me playing notes on top of it like that. And then I've got this sound here, which is this. Sounds like very old school chip tune.
Just quickly, if you could tap the thumbs up button, it would really help me out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future tracks you'd like me to make, pop them down below. And just so you know, there are already dozens of tutorials on this channel to help you become a video game composer, with many more coming each week, so feel free to get subscribed. Right, back to it.
And now we need a delay on that sound, so and let's just play around with it. Yep, something like that. In context. Good. Let's maybe go to a new section here. And for this, we're bringing it down without the bass line. Just these chords here. If you want to show me them. So the first three chords are just going to be your F major 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, but with a different inversion. And then these last two chords are just D minor 7, yep. And this last chord it's kind of a C major 7, and we've got a G at the root note. That's probably what I would best describe it as. So in context, yep, and with a lead on top of it, it sounds like this. Super simple lead there. And as you can see, the stabs are also doing that we used in the intro. And then something that I always teach you to do is just have something for the listener every, say, 4 bars. Sometimes it can be 8 bars, but 4 bars is safe. So here I've just got this very simple. And now we can lead it into something a bit bigger. And that will be with a lead, which is going to be this part here that I just jammed on top of it. Yeah, the only interesting thing there with the lead is that I made sure I put this 7th, oh, let's get the right sound up, this 7th when the chord moves down, just to give it that it's a turnaround essentially to lead it back round. And as you can see, I've done something slightly different than I would usually here. Usually I would just loop it back round, but what I'm going to do is just show you how to fill out a track a bit more and make it sound a bit more polished. So it goes back to the beginning here, but I've added a few elements. So as you can hear, I've got a shaker in here, and I've added that delayed little pluck sound just to vary it up for when we're looping back round here. And you can see I've added all these extra bits here. So when we get to here, we've got a tambourine and these extra sweeps here, just to give it a bit more energy. Right, let's have a listen to it the whole way through, shall we? And I'll talk about anything that we need to bring up. So you can hear a sweep just as you're coming in.
another sample coming up here. Tambourine here. Bit more action on the stabs this time round. Did you hear that? Just a bass at the end there to really round out the sound. Fills it out nicely, just the root notes of the chords, and that is the whole piece. Good. Any questions, pop them down below. If you could give us a thumbs up, that would be handy. And I've got loads more tutorials now, just like this. So yeah, subscribe, do that. Loads more coming. See you in the next one.